Welcome. This is the Success Secrets for Business, Family, and Life channel, brought to you by Metadime. You are on the Coffee Break Show with Vickie Helm, and we made it to Monday. And wow, what a Monday it's going to be. What a week it's going to be. We have been in some tumultuous territory. If you're new to the Coffee Break Show, welcome. Put your name down below. We'd love to know you, meet you, like you, and have some fun with you. Every Monday through Friday, we go live and we share tips, tools, news, techniques. We share inspiration, motivation, and we share things that are going to create thrivability in your life. And it is Monday, and it has, I sat with this Monday. I really thank you for coming on. Put your name down below. Love to see that you're here. I really had a lot of contemplation around this weekend because the tumultuousness in the world was everywhere. And we are going to be delving in as best as I can to talk about those things that happened this weekend and what we can do and how we can move forward and the things that we can concentrate on. And so glad to see you guys coming on. Good morning, Donnie. I'm so glad you're here. You have no idea. Thank you for being here with us. I'm new. Have some fun with me, please. Okay, so I'm going to have some fun with you as well. Thank you for being here. I want to say, I feel like the world caught fire this weekend. There was disruption all around the United States over the death of George Floyd. Good morning, MJ. Nice to see you here. Thank you for being here. Everybody coming on. Peter, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thanks, everyone, for being here. So the riots are unceasing. I'm certain we're probably going to see that. We started off the year going into a pandemic, losing our income, losing our sense of meaning, losing our center, losing absolutely everything. Some people have gained a lot. Everything is transforming. It's kind of tumultuous. I'm hoping that this person saying good morning is Ryan, I'm guessing. I hope that's you, Ryan. But what's happening is huge. What's happening is really huge. And I want to give you a perspective. I'm not an expert on life and things. I am an expert at understanding myself in such a way that I can have discernment with me. I don't know how it's going to resonate with you. I don't know how it's going to sound to you. But this is what I saw this weekend. I saw riots and people upset and destroying and just all kinds of pain and sadness and the death of George Floyd it's unspeakable to me right now. Then I saw all the conspiracy theories coming out about why he was killed and what and everything else. I saw the looting and rioting. And then on the opposite end of that, I watched the SpaceX actually launch and make it to the moon successfully. And we had, in my opinion, a front row view to the shadow of the world and also the light of the world, the success of mankind working together and getting somewhere, and the destruction of mankind working together to destroy. That to me was the perspective that was in front of me. It doesn't matter how it was twisted or what it was like, and people saying, well, this is a deep state thing, or this is they did this on purpose. The white men that, started the fires first or tried to rile everybody up. And they did exactly that. And what happened? Love seeing so many wake to subversion and manipulation of authoritarianism. Some will never see, but that's the whole point, isn't it, Ryan? I really want to go there because both were there. And you know what? The human being has both shadow and light in them. They have both. They have a shadow self, and we watched it this weekend. The shadow of the death of George Floyd and the destruction. I don't mind it's the destruction of everything that happened, the burning of the buildings and everything else in their own neighborhoods. That's all more jobs lost. All of that anger and things that happened and erupted. It's not that it's even justified or not justified. That's not it for me. It's the choice I make to see it. If I sit in my observer right now, if I'm just the witness of it and I'm just observing it from there, I could see the shadow and the light. I could see the project of humanity when they got to the space station, the Russians and the Americans there together, working together. I could see the people working together inside the building, and every time they got to one of the milestones of the launch, everybody was applauding and clapping and joyful. And yes, this happened. I can't believe it was so awesome. We worked together so hard on this project, and we worked so hard to make this work together. And then while we looked at that working together, we saw the destruction together. But they were still working together. They were working together to destroy. And I'm not even going to name who that is. Sure, it could be the first fire set was this. There are bricks laid over here. There, the instigation of it. But here's the thing. Let's go above the two. Let's go out of the duality and say, okay, we saw the shadow and we saw the light. We saw both of them happen. Let's just take a second and rise above that. Rise above that and observe. Because were there instigators? Yes, I believe there were instigators. Yes. And instigators know that you are going to react. I like this right here. This is an observation from Ryan. Far too many organizations for it not to be promoted by nefarious characters that want to see the world burn. Remember, it's part of the PlayBook Order out of chaos. So I want to say, to you, that it's more than that. It's more than that. It's that they know how you're going to react before you react. If you go above here, and look at what they did to organize this or not organize this, they knew how you were going to react before you did, before you reacted, before you thought of the unjustness of anything. So do you know they knew how you were going to react if the space shuttle was successful, if the launch for SpaceX was successful, and they did get to the space station? That whole thing, they knew how you were going to react at their success before they got there. And the riots in there, they knew how to erupt you anyway. My point isn't just that it's to the point where looting and things like, they knew what was going to happen beforehand. And everybody reacted exactly the way they wanted to react, or they wanted you to react. And so to me, what the two things are here about is what we react to, what you react to. You have the choice to react to. And I observed both things this weekend. I saw all the rioting and I felt my feelings and prayed my prayers. And I saw all the SpaceX and I felt my feelings, said my prayers, felt my, excitement and joy for all of that. And at what point do we remove the attention away from? How do we even come around to, it's like you're in duality. So there's opposite ends of everything. It doesn't matter what duality does. The only way out of it is to go above it. And in order to go above it, you have to raise yourself in consciousness. And I know this sounds crazy what we're talking about, or maybe it doesn't, do that, but it's like, when two women came to Solomon and they had a baby and they were arguing over the baby, the two people in that lower consciousness, all they could figure out to do was how to argue over the baby. No, it's my baby. No, it's my baby. No, it's my baby. She stole my baby. She stole my baby. He had to figure out a way to figure out who the mother actually was. So then he said something horrific. He was like, you know what? we'll just cut the baby in half, and you'll have one half of the baby and you'll have the other half. And the mother right away gave it up because she wanted that baby to live. So the rising above that doesn't mean, it means having some discernment about who and what you're going to allow to move you to. If you knew it was a setup, if you knew and you watched it unfold, this setup happened exactly how they knew people were going to respond. If people responded differently, full stop, if they responded differently, they would use a different tactic. And it wasn't very hard for them to figure out what tactic to use. This is interesting. I saw the headlines every day this weekend. All the headlines sadden me. The actions from one human to another can be so beautiful, but it's often horrific as well. This is interesting too. It's a time of extremes. Yes, it is. But it's not any different than the extremes we have already. It's not whether we've been through weather extremes, political extremes, etc. And so what happens is, when do we start taking responsibility for what we think? I love this. It's a plan. Create the excitement around the chaos, the pent-up anger at the police, and then a few agents of provocation, then boom. The goal is martial law. And I'm not sure we know that yet, because I still believe that there has been a lot of unfair advantage for some people because of color of skin. And so I see that there's a distinct possibility. I still think racism is a big issue in this country. I think isms are a big issue in this country still. And I think that having to be careful on both ends of how we approach our own judgments of people, that is a lesson. That is a lesson about going in. And to me, if we have judgments, the reason why we have judgments is because we have poor self-esteem. Because when you don't have poor self-esteem, when you truly love yourself, you have a tendency to understand and love others. Anytime that you're judging something as good, as bad, as conspiracy, blah, 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 if you go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, something underneath feels better because it thinks it knows. And if you remove that it thinks it knows out of the way, you'll understand that sometimes the way you feel about yourself is projected out into the universe. You project your own judgments there. And so what you see is what you think you are, whether that's positive or negative in someone. It's just like a hard discussion to have this morning because my heart feels sad. And I'm trying to get to the point where we are rising above duality. The only way out of this is discernment. You get to choose. Here's light and here's dark. And here's consciousness. Here's light, here's dark, here's consciousness. Which one are you going to choose? And what does consciousness mean to the individual when they're looking at this? Because I'm not saying it's not happening, but I'm not investing my attention into what is happening. I want to invest my attention into what I want to create in this world. I want to invest my attention in ways of making communication fair. I'm not trying to uncover something that I'm not sure exists. I think they could be true, but that's just one possibility. But what's another possibility other than this conspiracy theory being true or this, isms being true? What's another possibility besides this or this? How about the possibility of being someone who could create what you're focusing on, peace and understanding and maybe diversity education or unraveling those things? When you spin your attention on something, it's so important because you know that the media follows where your energy goes. Your energy goes. So you hear a lot of people going, what happened to the COVID conversations? What's happening to the COVID conversations? Your energy and attention went over here, so the media did. And your attention and your energy went over here, so the media did. The media knows what is a popular conversation. It's got Twitter, it's got Facebook, it's got Instagram. It knows what you want to see. It knows what you want to hear. It knows everything about what you want to create. So just imagine you're a little more powerful than you thought you were. And what if we all put our focus on something that was positive in the world to create? So creating a bridge, so to speak. We are more powerful than we can imagine. And we are letting a donkey with a carrot here in front of us tell us where to go and tell us what to concentrate on. And nobody noticed this week that there was, or a lot of people noticed, who am I kidding, that there was a lot of intentional standing by with those that are underprivileged, that are specifically picked out. So Martin Luther King, when he was here on the planet, marched peacefully, changed the world without taking out or burning a building, without doing any looting, without doing any harm. He had tons of police officers that didn't want him walking down the block, and people mocked him and made fun of him and everything else. And somehow he chose to pick the higher ground. Sometimes you go high. And this is a time where I think we need to figure out how to go higher within ourselves. If you're going to watch something, watch it objectively. Watch it without any kind of obsession or trying to find out more, deeper, uncover something. What you want to watch for is how you're reacting to it. The issue is that we lose discernment when we start reacting. When we're reacting to a story, that's the carrot. That carrot gets right in front of you and you can go off with that story. And the more of you that go off with that story, the more the news is going to rev up and follow it. I think that, oh my gosh, look at this is thank you very much, everybody. Here's a good one. Perceived unfair advantage can be used for or against the target. The agents want change, the agents wanting change, and I want to talk about this because this is the issue, I think, will put us into a mental trap where the both are true and both are false. So both sides are right and both are wrong. Do you understand that? This is the thing right here. When you go above and you're in the observer position, it's like the media can come and trip your trigger just by knowing what your beliefs are. We believe there's unfair advantage, so thus there is. And it can be used against you or for you based exactly on how you're going to react. We don't like to think that somehow we have a carrot dangled in front of us and we'll follow it. We don't like to think that we're that gullible or we're that, weak emotionally. And to me, this is it. It's perceived unfair advantage can be used for or against the target. The agents wanting change will put us into a mental trap. That mental trap is another word for saying that mental trap is a belief that you have where both are true and both are false. So both sides are right and both are wrong. Isn't that interesting? Because that's duality. Both sides are right and both sides are wrong. If we move above duality and we become conscious, we understand that we're oftentimes being forced into a mental state, and so that you can react. When you're so woke, you realize being woke is another illusion that must be transcended. Thank you. This is the truth right here. When you're so awake, that you realize that being awake is another illusion that has to be transcended. It's always up. There's always more to learn. There's always more to grow. There's always more to be. There's always more to do. We are in the birthing process of a better self. And in any birthing, there is pain and major changes. Yes, that's so true. That's a thing right there. We are definitely birthing, but you get to choose in your birthing process how things are going. Oh my gosh. I like this possible thought right here, and I hope she's on. Jane, happy birthday. Now, this makes me happy right there. Happy birthday. Let's see. Here we go. Yes. Just like Puerto Rico did last year when they all marched, made their points, danced in the streets until they got the change in the government that they wanted. No bullets, no looting, no car bombs, no deaths, no unnecessary deaths. I think Puerto Rico had a lot because they had that hurricane that just absolutely wiped them out. And still to this day, they freed themselves without one drop of blood being shed. So it's proven that it's possible in that way. This is pretty intense. They're using the weapons of hate. Hate is such a powerful thing. It heightens emotions beyond all rational behavior. Hate incites hate. It does. Love incites love or begets love. Peter says, love this. Thank you, Peter. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed people can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. And here's the thing. The small group of people can be positive or negative and still make a change. It is positive or negative. The truth is that it is always a group of thoughtful, committed people. And so if we want to make a change in our world, we have to make a change in ourselves. We have to be willing to see our own shadow and our own light. We have to be able to go to the places that are within us that are hateful, that are judgmental, that are angry, that feel like they got a raw deal or a bad thing, or this happened to me. And if it didn't happen to me, then I'd be more than I am right now. We have to go to that negative piece of us deeply within ourselves and call it out. Because that projection of righteousness that you feel inside about wanting to be, what's the word? Vindicated, wanting to be seen, wanting to be, I'm sorry those things happen to you. I think bad things happen to every kind of good people everywhere. And when we get judgments and we get projecting those judgments on other people, like it's because of them, or if they went away, or if they were gone, or look at these immigrants, look at these Black people, look at these Latin people trying to get it, look at these people. No matter what you do, that's what you're going to be looking at, because that's what is here. People of all kinds of colors and races. And if you could drop the judgment for a minute and just use the word humanity, it might be a little different for you. Look at the humanity over there. Look at the humanity over here. I'm part of humanity. This putting us into little bubbles of little humanity here and there. We are united. No matter what, whether you're from the United States or not, it doesn't matter. We are united. We are a species of some sort, and that makes us one. And you know how there are different kinds of dogs, like there are corgis and Great Danes, and there are pit bulls and Labradors. That we all look at the puppies and we just say dogs. And we enjoy each other, the kind of breeds. We have itty bitty Chihuahuas, and some people love the Chihuahua. And then we have Great Danes, and some people love the Great Dane. But we don't project that the Great Dane is better because it's a bigger dog, or the Chihuahua. We get the dog that fits our lifestyle. Humanity is like a big puppy pile. There are, some tall dudes and some short dudes, and tall women and short women. And there are all kinds of colorful women. We're like Labradors. There's brown, black, yellow, and red. And so if we get to the point where we could just see ourselves as humanity, at one point you can rise above. And then if you could just hold the possibility that there are things out there that are trying to manipulate you. They're trying to trip your trigger. They're trying to trip your trigger because that's how they gain your attention. They trip your trigger by making you feel offended, or having you feel scared, or having you feel righteous indignation, or having you feel like, you're better than, somehow greater than, or more than. Well, guess what? In humanity, we play that game, don't we? We think somehow here I am, and there are people who are better than me, people who are lesser than me, and then my peers who are exactly like me. That's the stupid story we believe. We believe that there are some people that are, more powerful, more authority, more this, and there are some people who don't even deserve our attention. They're weak and they're this and they're that. We're if we stop that, that thing is your self-esteem meter. If you truly love yourself, you don't see a hierarchy of people. You see humanity. And you see that everybody's doing the best they can with where they are, with who they are in this moment. In this moment, period. Whether they're trying to pass off, a bad check, or whether they have hundreds of millions and they don't even, their humanity. It's all people. You are where you are on the path. It doesn't make you better. It doesn't make you less. It doesn't make you more important. It doesn't make you more responsible. It doesn't make you lazy. It doesn't make you worthless. It doesn't make you good for nothing. You are where you are on the path, period. And so it's like, here's the path. If you were like on the path going from this campground to this campground, and there was a bunch of people going with you, the first one there isn't the best. If you're in the middle and you're just walking the path, it doesn't make you more or less. The issue that we have, I believe these things happen because we have poor self-esteem, poor self-care, poor self-love. If you want more love in the world, we can't seek it from outside of ourselves. If we want more love in the world, we have to be and let out more love in the world. I know this is Monday and it's been a hard weekend, but it's also been an exciting weekend. It's been a hard year, a really hard year. Most people are living in uncertainty. Most people don't know what's going to happen next. Most people, some of their sales have gone down, way down. They're like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. They're having to work more, push more people up. Here's the best thing you can do. Spend some time not putting yourself down so much. Spend some time telling yourself that you're doing pretty well considering the circumstances that are here right now. Just for a moment, stop belittling yourself with your own mind, thinking that you're quietly going to feel better if you put somebody else down or you uncover a conspiracy. I want to go here with Donnie because I think this is important. The shadow has revealed its face from the pool of darkness. You must understand, it is the expansion of light that allows the shadow to expand. This is a great, powerful moment to become empowered. Where do we as a people place our focus and attention? So one of the things I know is that people who are choosing where to put their focus, they are going to have to focus on a little bit more kindness and love of themselves. I think that I don't have any of the answers that I'd love to have for the world. I'd love to have that solution everybody has. That one thing that'd make everybody happy, but that doesn't exist. The one thing is that you cannot get off the planet without doing the work, no matter what. You cannot get off this planet without doing the work. You're going to be presented moment to moment to moment to moment to moment with choices of how you're going to think, who you're going to be, what you're going to become. And the drop that you make in the water is called impact. You can have a positive or a negative impact. I want to quote Ken MacArthur here because he wrote the book, the best-selling book, The Impact Factor. And it says every single day, whether you want to or not, know it or not, like it or not, you make an impact with every single thought, every single thing that you do, every single thing that you say to yourself. You are making an impact. And remember, there are only two things that thoughts can do. They will impair or empower. That's it. They will impair you or empower you. If you believe the story of, then you will become empowered or impaired. If you believe the story of, you will become empowered and impaired. Just depends on what you believe. That's it. So let me ask you, did this weekend, this last week, this time from January when this pandemic hit, are you more empowered or are you more impaired? Because it's not the world doing that to you. It's a hard conversation to bring it back home to you, to bring it back in so that you can evaluate and say, what's the most empowering thought I can have? Can I observe and witness without reacting? Can I observe and witness by going inside? And then the impact that I choose to make, can it be love or more impairment? That's up to the individual, isn't it? That's why we are looking at what Donnie said, which is this right here. The mindset of humanity showed up this weekend, and it had both greatness and kind of some impairment as well. The shadows revealed its face from the pool of darkness. You must understand, it's the expansion of light that allows the shadow to expand. This is a great, powerful moment to become empowered. Where do we as a people place our focus and attention? Is it on the things that'll impair you or on the things that'll empower you? I just want to say thank you for being with me this Monday. This is what's happening in the world. What is it that they say? Hang on, it's going to be a bumpy ride. All right, you guys, peace out. I'll see you all tomorrow. Spread